Oh my god, what's up guys? It's Reverie. Welcome back to my new YouTube channel, and don't forget to subscribe, do a thumbs up, and share this video with somebody if you find it interesting. So today I'm going to talk about accepting the fact that in life some people are just not going to like you. I feel like a lot of people get caught up in that, and a lot of people have this need to be validated and this need to be liked. And I feel like if you never learn and accept the fact that not everybody's gonna like you, I feel like that's gonna really hold you back in life. And I feel like we spend way too much energy trying to get people to like us instead of convincing our own self to like our own self. I feel like this is something that everybody struggles with. And this is something that I wish I would have learned when I was a lot younger. I wish I would have learned that some people are just not going to like me no matter what I do or who I am or how I talk or how I dress or how much money I have or how many fans I have or whatever, how skinny I am, how many tattoos I have. You know, there's a million reasons why people have not liked me over my lifetime. And sometimes the reasons don't make sense, or sometimes I don't understand why somebody doesn't like me, but I've come to realize that that's just part of life. And especially doing what I do for a living, being in the public eye, more and more people every day, every week, every month don't like me, and they tell me they don't like me, and they talk shit to me, and they call me names, and they try to put me down or whatever it is. But this is something that's always happened to me since I was young, and now that I'm older I realize that it happens to everyone. So that's why I wanted to speak on this topic. I wanted to just encourage you guys to love yourself and encourage you to just focus on loving yourself and focus on the people that do love you and that do support you, because there's always going to be people that don't like you. Like, excuse me, I remember when I was in high school, and that was the first time that I started really experiencing people not liking me for no reason. When I got older and I was out of high school, I really realized that it's usually jealousy that causes somebody not to like you for no reason. And I'm not talking about just, it's a difference between somebody not being interested in you and not wanting to make a connection with you. That's different than when somebody wants to make it be known that they hate everything about you. For example, when I was in high school, I got picked on a lot, and girls would just talk shit, and they would want to fight me, and it would really be just because somebody else didn't like me, and that person didn't like me because their friend didn't like me. And one of the dramas that really caused a lot of the drama that I had when I was in high school was that I had this one friend named Crystal, and she was like my best friend, and she was a little bit loud, but she was very sweet. Like, she was such a sweet girl, and if you got to know her, she was very cool. But I guess she annoyed one of the 10th graders. We were 9th graders at this time, and then the 10th graders and above started just being mean to her. Like, they would pick on her in the hallway, they would talk shit when we would be walking in the hall, and eventually I got sick of it, and I one day talked shit back to them when they were talking shit to us. It was at the ice cream truck, I still remember it. And then we went back to the benches after school, and I ended up getting in a fight with one of the girls that was talking shit. And after that, I got picked on a lot in high school, because that girl was like one of the cool, like, crazy chola girls. And so then all the crazy cholas didn't like me, and that was when I was a 9th grader, so I didn't know anybody in that school. So it was a very hard time for me, and me and Crystal just got picked on all the time, and that carried on until I was in 10th grade, and eventually I started getting in a lot of fights. Because I was getting picked on constantly, and I was just tired of it. And then the picking on me stopped. The picking on me stopped when I learned how to fight, and I stopped letting people walk all over me, and I stopped letting people take advantage of my kindness. And that was a really fucked up time in my life, because I didn't understand why everything was happening to me. I knew that it had started from my friend Crystal, but I didn't understand how all these other girls were not gonna like me and literally want to fight me and talk shit to me because their friend didn't like me just because I was standing up for my friend. You know, this is always, I've always been like that. I've always been like, I stand up for my friends. I'm like a ride or die friend, and it's gotten me into a lot of trouble. Now I don't get in trouble anymore for it because now I only surround myself with people that are not going to get me in trouble, and also because I'm older now, I don't get in fights anymore. It's so stupid. But back then I got in a lot of trouble for standing up for a lot of my friends. I don't regret it, but I'm just saying that it was a consequence of me being a quote unquote good friend, or what I thought was a good friend, which I still think it's a good friend. Like, I don't regret having stood up for my homegirl, you know. Like, she was so small. The reason they picked on us was because we were so small. These girls were all way taller. They were older. You know, when you're in the 9th grade and a 10th grader and all the seniors are picking on you, that shit's really scary. Like, I was terrified walking down the hallways in high school. Like, I remember there was this one fat ass, big ass bitch. Like, she was so tall and so fat. I forgot her name, but everyone was scared of her, and she didn't like me because, like, that group of girls didn't like me. And I'll walk by the hall and she'd be like, bitch. Like, she'll just say that and I'll be like so scared. I'll just like keep walking, like, oh my god. And then eventually she was one of the girls that started leaving me alone too as well, because she heard about me. You know, I like I said, I started standing up for myself. Anyways, but point being, the original girl that didn't like my friend Crystal didn't like her for no reason. Like, she just didn't like her because she was annoying to her. They had a class together and she would tell her, like, shut the fuck up, you talk too loud, why is your voice so squeaky, you're fucking annoying, you fucking 9th grader. Like, it was just like things that were just who Crystal was. It's not like Crystal fucked her boyfriend, or like Crystal stole from her, or like Crystal Crystal didn't do shit to her. Point being that Crystal was just being herself, and she got hated on for it, and we really didn't understand it, you know. And so point being, people are just not gonna like you for the stupidest things. And I remember I was excited to get out of high school because I was excited to get away from all the drama. And then when I grew up, I realized that the drama never really stops. Like, I'm not a very dramatic person, but I see so many dramatic people. I stay away from dramatic people, and I don't really have to deal with too much drama anymore because I work for myself. And now, since I work for myself, I don't have to work with anybody that brings drama into my life. So once I experience drama with somebody that I'm working with, I no longer work with them. It's very easy. It's very easy. And I cut off a lot of people over the last few years of me working for myself. I've worked with many artists and many photographers, many producers, many designers, many whatever, like venues, promoters. Like, I've worked with so many people, and I've cut so many people off because I don't fuck with everybody, because you're just not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, you know. Like, it's just like exactly what I'm describing. You can't try to make everybody like you, because in life you're gonna realize that some people are just not gonna like you, and sometimes it's gonna be because you fucked up. But a lot of times it's not going to be for any reason. Like, you really can't identify why that person doesn't like you. And it's going to confuse you. And you're going to think to yourself, like, wow, I was really nice to that person. How come they're acting like this? How come they're acting like that? A lot of the times it's jealousy. A lot of the times it's envy. A lot of the times it's this person projecting a part of themselves that they don't like onto you. And my dog's on my lap. She's so cute. But point being that you just gotta let it go and just focus on yourself and focus on the people who do like you, because you're gonna run into a lot of people in life, and a lot of people are gonna like you, and some people are just not gonna like you, you know. And it's okay. You don't have to try to please everyone. And I know that some people think like, oh, but it's because nobody likes me. But you know, if nobody likes you, that means a couple of things. It means most likely you need to meet more people. You need to go out. You need to go join a club, join a book club, go to the gym, join a women's group, join a chess club, join whatever you like to do. You need to join a club that has that activity, and you need to go out there and meet more people. And then another thing that could mean if nobody likes you is that maybe you need to work on your people skills. Maybe you need to look better. You know, people say, oh, it's what's inside that counts, the outside doesn't count. That's really, really not true, and I hate that saying. It's very important how you look. You have to present yourself the way you want people to perceive you. You're like a big billboard. Like, if somebody looks like a bum in the streets, you're most likely not going to want to talk to them, okay? And that's obviously an extreme comparison, but it's just a good example so you can understand how the human mind works. People are not going to want to associate with you if you don't look like you care about yourself. Why am I going to want to be friends with somebody who doesn't even comb their hair, has wrinkly ass clothes every time we hang out, doesn't smell good, they smell like they need to take a shower, their shoes are all busted and old, their fingernails are all dirty. You know, these things, they say something about you. You're sending a message with how you look. So you want to make sure that how you look looks good. You want to look appealing to people. And some people might not say, well, I don't care about how I look. And that's fine. But you just got to understand that you're going to turn some people away with the way that you present yourself. Excuse me. And the same thing goes like with tattoos. Like, a lot of people are very turned off by my tattoos, and a lot of people are very intimidated by my tattoos, and sometimes by the way I dress, because I try not to look like a chola, but I don't know why, I just can't escape it. A lot of times I just look like a chola no matter what, and a lot of it does have to do with my tattoos. I have a lot of tattoos, and I intimidate a lot of people, and that's a consequence that I have to face from my tattoos, from my actions. And I know that some people are intimidated by me. I can see the body language. I can see people the way they look at me sometimes, and that's okay. It just goes back to the point that you're the way that you look. The way that you look is the way people are going to perceive you. And also, it's not just about looks either. It is what's inside that counts as well, because if you're a snooty ass person, if you always act like you're too good for everything, people are not going to want to be around you. People don't want to be around people that are going to make them feel small. Like, if you're the kind of person that's always criticizing people, like, if I come into the room and then you're like, oh, why you always wear so much jewelry? When you know that I love to wear jewelry and it's just part of who I am. Or you're going to say like, oh, you missed that big spot in the back of your head. Your hair looks like shit. Like, you don't have to say it like that. You could say, oh, you know, you missed a little spot in the back, just in case you didn't know. You know, the delivery is very important. You're going to either make people appreciate your words, or you're going to turn them away with your words. It's all about the tone and the delivery. There's things that you could say that are never appropriate. You know, like you don't want to tell somebody like, oh, you look fat as fuck. Like, that's just rude no matter what, you know. But if you want to say it in a nice way, like out of concern, if you want to ask somebody like, oh, you gained a lot of weight, like, what are you okay, or what's going on? Are you going through a personal issue? Do you want to talk about something? That's the way you would want to address something like that. So you have to be careful of how you make people feel. You have to be careful of how you word things. People don't want to be around people that make them feel like shit. I'm not going to hang around with somebody if every time I go and hang around with them, they're just talking shit or they're just complaining. That's another big turn off for people, complaining. If you are always complaining, people are not going to want to be around you. The only people that are going to want to be around you are going to be the people that also complain. So if you're trying to be more positive in life and enjoy life more, then you want to try to get out of the habit of complaining. Complaining is really just a habit. Complaining is fighting reality. Complaining is not accepting what is. Because if you're complaining about something and you're not actively doing something to change it, that means that you're just fighting reality, like I said. And it doesn't really make sense to live life like that, because you shouldn't be complaining about something, like, for the most part, with your own personal life. There's not really much to complain about. If you have a problem with your personal life, you should be working towards changing that. For example, if you have the problem of being overweight, I know I use the example of being overweight a lot, but it's because it's a common problem that a lot of people have, and it's a something that I can address easily and make it very relatable to people. So if you have a problem with being overweight, and you always make a complaint, oh, I keep gaining weight, but it's because there's just so much sugar in food nowadays. I keep gaining weight because I just don't have time to cook, because my job's so exhausting. And then, you know, somebody might hear you say that and they say, well, why don't you just wake up like 10 minutes earlier in the morning and cook make yourself a healthier sandwich instead of eating at McDonald's or eating Chinese food delivery because it's so fattening. And then that person will complain like, oh, but then I have to wake up 10 minutes earlier. Oh, it's just so exhausting. And then you give them another solution to that. Well, maybe you could go to bed 10 minutes earlier so that you wouldn't mind waking up 10 minutes earlier. Oh, but then I hate going to bed early. I just can't sleep. And then if you're like, oh, well, you could meditate, because if you can't fall asleep, sometimes meditation, or you could work out, those things will help you go to sleep. And they say, oh, but I don't have time. When I get home, I don't want to work out because I'm so tired from my job. You know, there's always an excuse. There's always an excuse, and it's complaining. And eventually, if you keep complaining and you keep turning away people's solutions, people are going to stop giving you solutions, and they're going to stop suggesting things to you. And they're not going to want to hang around with you either, because that energy is negative. I'm just going to say it. That energy is negative. Hearing somebody complain about life all the time, that's a super huge turn off. And I'm not just talking about for lovers. I'm talking about for friends. I'm talking about family. I'm talking about being a roommate with somebody. I'm talking about being a business partner. If you have somebody that's constantly complaining, that shit is a super turn off. Like, I stay away from people like that. I know sometimes I'll talk shit online, but in my real life, I'm very grateful, and I don't like to complain because I just feel like complaining is a waste of time. You should be working on a solution instead of complaining about the current situation. You should be working on a solution to change the current situation rather than talking about it all the time and not doing anything about it. People just love to complain. So anyways, point being that people are not going to want to be around you if you're a negative Nancy. If you're always complaining, people are not going to want to be around you, period. So you got to be careful. If that sounds like you, or like, this is another perfect example. I know somebody, and whenever I see them, I'm a very grateful person. I'm always like, oh, look at that tree. Oh, look at her outfit. It's so pretty. Oh, I love your hair. I'm like that person. And sometimes it annoys people. A lot of people don't like that. Believe it or not. They don't like people that give so many compliments. But I'm just a very grateful person. And I was not always like that. But I try to always be grateful. And I try to always give compliments and spread the love, because I know that what I give is what I'm going to get back. And that's not really the only reason why I do it. But that's a great incentive for me to do it as well. I just do it because I'm just genuinely grateful. And it feels good to be grateful. But so I know this person, and whenever I see them, I'll say, oh, the weather's so pretty outside, huh? It's so nice outside. And then they always say, oh, it's too hot. It's too hot today. And I'm like, oh, all right. But then I'll see them on another day, and I'll say, oh, it's so pretty outside, huh? When it's like a little on the cooler side, but it's still pretty outside. I'm like, oh, it's so pretty outside. And then they say, oh, it's so cold. It's just so cold. This is terrible. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, why don't you just put on a sweater? Oh no, because I don't like wearing a sweater. I don't like, there's always like something to make life suck. So I don't want to continue the conversation with that person. I'm not gonna keep talking. They're gonna keep complaining about everything. And it's not just about that with this person. That I could talk about anything, and they always want to point out the negatives, and I don't want to talk to people like that. I don't want to waste my time focusing on the negative. I don't want to talk shit. I'm trying to love life. So you gotta be careful how you present yourself. People are not gonna want to be around you if you're always negative, period. And another thing that will turn people away is you being rude to other people. Like, for example, if me and you are hanging out and we go to a restaurant and then I order from the waitress, I'm very nice to waiters and waitresses. I say like, oh, can I have this? Okay, cool, thank you so much. Oh, can I please get a ketchup? Oh, excuse me. I'm very nice like that, because I like to respect people. Excuse me. But if somebody that I'm at dinner with is like, can I get a water? You forgot my coffee. This doesn't taste good. Like they're just being rude, like so rude. It's fucking embarrassing. I hate being around people like that, because you're making me look bad too. When I'm here trying to be a nice ass person, trying to make the waiter feel comfortable, I already know they've been working all day, they're tired as fuck, their ankles hurt from standing up all day, they're not getting paid that good. Like I'm chilling. I'm nice to people just because I know what it's like to be that fucking waiter. And it's hard. So I just try to treat everybody with respect, So if I'm out to dinner with somebody and that somebody's being rude to the waiter, that's gonna make me look bad, and it's making me uncomfortable. It makes me very uncomfortable to see somebody being treated like shit for no fucking reason. Like that's another thing that's gonna turn people off. So be careful how you treat people when you're out and about, because people might not want to hang with you if you're gonna be doing that. I definitely have cut off people for that shit. Like, you want to go to dinner? Oh, I'm busy. No, I'm cool. Like, I'm not trying to be around people like that. Another thing that people won't like. What's another thing that people won't like? I mean, I guess that's enough examples for now. Those are pretty good examples that I gave. But just, the problem might be you. You know, if nobody likes you, the problem might be you. And we all have problems, and we all have room for improvement, and we all have things that we could change about ourselves so that people will like us more. And some people might say like, oh, I don't care if anybody likes me. But that's really not a healthy attitude to have about relationships and bonding. And when I say relationships, I'm not just talking about lovers. I'm talking about with friends. I'm talking about with business partners. I'm talking about with lovers. I'm talking about with family. I'm talking about with your kids. I'm talking about with your neighbors. You know, like, the relationships you have all around you are very important, and they're all going to be influenced by the kind of person that you are. So you have to be careful what kind of person you're going to be, because if you're a negative person, you're going to have all negative people around your life. If you are a person who is striving for success and is an entrepreneur on your way to the top, if you surround yourself with a bunch of people like that, you're more likely to get there faster. And if you're a fucking drug addict and you drink every day till you black out, if you kick it with just people like that, you're gonna stay in that circle. You know, it's like that saying, birds of a feather flock together. Whoever you kick it with the most, that's how you're gonna be. And if you want to change and you want to become a different person, you're most likely gonna have to change the people that you're around. And that's a really hard thing for most people, and that's why most people don't change who they are or how they feel or what they do for a living, or etc., 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 because they're scared of starting over. Because starting over and starting fresh with a fresh circle of friends is very hard. It's very hard. And if you want to start over and become another person, that's just gonna have to be part of the process. So I hope that you know that. Maybe you haven't thought about it, now you're thinking about it now that I said it, but that's just what the fuck it is. Yeah, so, but back to the original point, not everyone's gonna like you. People are just not gonna like you. You know, every day I get DMs talking shit. I get comments talking shit. Oh, you fucking big nose, horse teeth bitch. Fuck you, slut. You know, and this is from somebody I've never met. They might not even have a default picture. They might not even have any followers. It's just like a completely troll page, and it's crazy. You know, people are just talk shit for no reason today. I mean, I can't even remember the comments that people leave me, because they're just so weird and so outlandish, and that I can't even think of some off top. But people talk shit all the time, like, oh, your music sucks, oh, you're fake, oh, you think you're better than everyone, oh, you think you're hood, oh, so and so is better than you. I used to like you, but I realized that who you really are. I don't know, like, all kinds of things. People say all kinds of things, and it's just really weird. You know, it's really weird having people not like me for basically no reason, or for something that I can't even really understand, you know, but it's just part of life, and I realized that it's always gonna be like that. And I've been dealing with that a lot this last week. I've been getting a lot of interaction this last week. I think it's because, like, I've been posting about the protesting and stuff. So I've been just getting a lot of, like, heat for it, because a lot of people don't agree with what I'm doing, and then some people agree with it, but they don't agree with all of what I'm doing. Some people are misinterpreting the messages I'm sending. And politics is something that I don't really like to get into, because people get really upset and really passionate over politics, and that gets a lot of influences into a lot of trouble and a lot of problems. Obviously I'm not scared of it, because that's why I am talking about it on my social media, but it's just getting me a lot of hate this last week. And I just have to continuously tell myself that it's not really necessarily about me. It's more just this person projecting something, or this person is offended by this whole grand issue, and I'm just caught up in the midst of their anger and disappointment, or whatever it is that they're feeling, you know. And it's just interesting being alive. It's really interesting being alive. Some people are just not gonna like you. It doesn't matter, like, Doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter how much money you have. Some people are just not gonna like you, and you'll never figure out why. And you could even ask them why, and they'll, I don't have a problem with you, I do like you. But they don't like you. And you know what, it's fine, it's just part of life. It's better. The point of this talk was for me to tell you guys not to try to make everyone like you. Instead, you have to try to make yourself like yourself, and then you're gonna attract more people that are going to like you. And also, another important reminder is to not keep people in your life that don't like you, because there's some people that are gonna enter your life and they're not gonna like you, but they'll stay in your life for whatever reason. And it's very unhealthy to have people in your life that don't appreciate who you are. Like, if somebody is constantly trying to change who you are, like, oh, why do you dress like that? Why do you talk like that? Why do you laugh like that? Why do you like that music? Why do you wake up at that time? You know, like, if there's somebody who's constantly trying to change you and trying to like nag about who you are, and especially if it's about good qualities, it's like, oh, why do you like to talk about these things? And it's like, you really value talking about those things. You want to make sure that you distance yourself from people like that, because people like that are just going to confuse you, and they're going to make you forget who you are. And it's your choice. You know, it's your choice whether you want to keep people like that in your life or not. But I really suggest keeping people like that out of your life and very far from you, because you could even be like the most confident person, but if you have somebody in your life that's constantly putting you down, eventually you're going to start believing them. And it might just be on a subconscious level, but for sure it's going to have some kind of impact on you. If somebody's constantly putting you down, putting down who you are, trying to change you, you're going to be confused about your identity. You're going to be confused, like, why does this person want to change me? Is there something wrong with me? Because I know they love me because they're in my life, but they constantly want to change me. You know, that's not really a good, healthy kind of love. I'm not saying that somebody that treats you like that can't love you, because maybe they do love you, but it's a very unhealthy love, and it's going to leave you feeling unfulfilled, and it's going to leave you feeling confused, and it's also going to contribute to you losing your self-identity. And that's one of the most dangerous games you could play with yourself. You never want to lose yourself. You never want to forget who you are, because once you let somebody else or a group of people or whoever convince you who you are, it's going to be really hard to unlearn that. It's going to be really hard to come back to your true essence, and it's going to be really hard to be confident in who you are, and you might never make it back. Sometimes people never make it back. They just stay that person that other people created them to be forever. And that's a sad thing. That's a sad thing, because you're one of a kind. You're one in 8 billion people alive today. And that's a really great thing. You know, you don't have to be like everyone. And just remember, not everyone's going to like you. And those are the people you got to keep out of your life. Don't take personal offense to it. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to change yourself, unless you're going to change it the good way. But it's okay for people not to like you. And this is something that everybody deals with. I deal with this every day, you guys. I block people every single day. Multiple people every single day. So it's just part of life, you know. And don't forget that there's so many people out there that will like you and will love you, and you just will have a better time in life if you are being yourself instead of trying to be who everybody else wants you to be. Oh, Lily, she's falling asleep sitting up. She's so pretty. Look at her. All right, I'm gonna sign off. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to drop a comment below. Tell me what you thought about this talk, and also let me know what you guys want me to talk about next. I'm gonna take some suggestions. Also, subscribe to my new channel. Go to my website, satorimob.com. This is one of my brand new shirts. It's available now. We have sizes up to 5XL in men's, and we ship internationally. So thank you guys so much. Take care, and that's it. Okay, bye.